I start my today's journey by trying up my riding socks, and we're heading to the stable. Here's Blackie playing with all the dogs, and they happily accompany us right to the stable, having a few drinks. My friend asked me to give her horse an intravenous injection, so we're heading to do this, putting on his halter, and of course giving a treat. While I was preparing myself to make the injection, he decided to hide. Are we done yet? No? Okay, turning him back to the light and preparing his neck for the injection. I have my thumb on his vein so that the vein is a little more seen, and I just go right into it. You can see the blood flowing easily and finish our injection. During the injection, always check a few times during the injection that you have the blood flow, that you haven't gotten anywhere from the vein. Of course, some pads, some treats, and cleaning the area of the injection. If you want to learn more about how to make an injection, I'll leave a link for the video I made a while ago explaining everything in detail. Today I have a balloon with me, and while my other two horses are a little bit scared of it, I decided to go play with the daisies because he just likes the balloons, he likes the balls, he likes everything. So the bags, plastic bags, his favorite friends. Now we have that game where he should bounce the ball back to me, and we do this with a fit ball as well, and he really likes it. He just bumps it with his head, so that's kind of fun. Now I try to introduce the balloon to Goldie, and he isn't very excited about it, a little bit suspicious. Should I do it? Should I not? So what do we do now? I try to encourage his movement towards the balloon and I praise for any move towards it. I decided it was enough. I gave him a treat and time to think. Now back to work. The rug is off. Blackie found a watermelon. Before closing his halter, I clean his head and nose from the dust, and we're moving to our favorite sport, the booty. So yeah, this is how our cleaning, grooming process looks like. Then I put the ointment on his scalp so that it is moisturized and ready for the exercise, for the movement. Now moving to the hooves. Blackie has horseshoes on, so it's a little bit difficult to clean the hooves since the dirt gets stuck there. So it's a whole process. Blackie has the thickest tail of all of my horses, so it also needs extra attention. After everything's done, I do the final brushing to remove all the dust that could come from the mane or tail or whatever. Now the pads and the wraps or bandages. And here's my tip for you. You know, we all use the bandages in order to support our horse's legs and the ligaments so that we have extra protection during the ride. But in order to achieve this, you need to bandage correctly. So pay attention. I always do this in one direction symmetrically so that on the outside of the horse's leg, the bandages are following towards the tail. And it's not like you wrap in one direction all the legs. So you wrap right legs in one direction and left legs in another direction so that it's symmetrically and anatomically correct. It helps distribute the pressure on the horse's legs the same way on the both of the horse's sides. Now moving on to tacking up. I always check that my gel pad is also evenly sitting on the horse's back, so right side and left side has the same space, has the same amount of the gel pad on them. Lifting up the saddle pad in front and in the back is very important to keep the pressure off the horse's spine and allow it to distribute on the horse's back instead, on the back muscles. First I tightened the girth just a little so the saddle just hangs there, and add a little by little, the hole after hole, so that the horse feels comfortable when I do this. Now time to wash my shoes, because I didn't do it the day before. And we're almost ready, and I almost trip over my dog, but he doesn't really feel bothered about it at all. Packing all my things back to the box, so everything's left clean. And now just the final touch, the helmet, the fly spray, and the double bridle soon. Blackie was extremely terrified of the sprays of the water hose when I just met him. So as a tip, well, what worked for us is to start doing it by the hind, but you should make sure that your horse trusts you. So he was a little bit, suspicious about it, but he wouldn't kick at all, never. So I just did it by his croup, and then with time moved to front, and he always gets the trees, as you can see. Wanna eat it? No, it doesn't. You want. Lucky. Would you please come here? Thank you. Good boy. Checking the mane and the forelock. Nothing is stands here. What? Boy. You can see I use a gel pad for the chain, so it's not harming his muzzle, his beautiful face, and I also don't pull it too much, so it's like light, as well as the nose band. Everything is light and soft. As usual, we work for around 10 to 15 minutes before starting the training. And the arena is entered by 2 Dressage Stars, and they're fighting for the first place in this Grand Prix competition. You can see they're literally dancing, and who is going to take the highest points? We'll see in a moment. Well, let's get back to the training. We just walk all around the arena to just get comfortable. Then the trot starts. Easy, light trot, a bit lazy, that's okay. My main focus is to stay long and low. Of course, for this you need active hind legs. But as Blackie is a senior horse, I do not push him right at the start to go, to the maximum. We just start the lazy a little bit on the forehand, and then engaging the hind legs a little bit more and more over the training. I guess this was the time when Blackie was in the recovery process, so I also haven't been riding much, and we're both, with the help of this cute dog, getting back on track. Introducing bigger circles to just stretch Blackie a little. You can see he's already more active, especially now. You see, he has a friend to encourage him. Look at those jumpies. Well, Blackie is very gentle with all the dogs, cats. He likes to sniff them, make them massages. So just a very gentle giant for them. And it's a nice way for this dog to train a little. Do you think we can make dog liberty performances? So the big one got tired already. Oh no, for Scratcher is never tired. It's time to finish our first trot and move on to binding on walk. We do it both sides and move on to more complex exercises such as leg yielding and half pass. So now it's a half pass to the right. I'm asking Blackie to remember how to do it after such a long break. And he did pretty well. I could feel he tried his best, but his muscles weren't practicing for a while. So mentally he was ready to do this. He felt, okay, he just did it. But I felt that it's not like we were used to do it before. So yeah, it just needs some practice, some time to stretch the muscles the way they were stretched before and gain a little bit of the muscles as well, since, they lose muscles with no work. Blackie really tried to please me, and you can now see the second try on the walk looks much more beautiful. And now I decided to make a zigzag, so instead of doing one long half pass, we just do a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left. This helps to make the horse more supple, engage their hind legs, and Blackie did very well. This is what I was looking for the connection, for the willingness to work. And he got the reward. We took some break and went to our mini forest, back to our mini forest to walk there and climb the hill. It's really important to have breaks in the training. If you have some place where you can ride outside the arena, it's just perfect for the horse to unwind and get filled with energy for the rest of the training. And we start cantering, and in particular working on the straightness. That's why I chose to ride on the outside. First, I make transitions to walk at each corner because we just started cantering and he's not engaged yet that much. Sometimes it feels not as good as I would like it to be, but anyways, I always praise my horses for willing to work with me, for listening to me, so that they understand when they do things right. Sometimes they try their best, but they just cannot physically probably or mentally do something at a certain stage. But just imagine if I told you to run 10 kilometers and would punish you if you didn't make it. Would you be motivated to continue running? Well, probably you would, but would you be healthy doing it? Would your heart rate be normal? Would your legs not hurt? And all of other aspects. So what I prefer doing and what I recommend doing to anyone who rides horses or who works with them is to praise any horse's effort done towards the goal in the direction of the goal. So if your horse ran 100 meters of those 10 kilometers, but they listened to you, they did it the way they could, so they just tried their best for you, and they should know it. You should let them know, you should praise them, and you should have a break. No one wants a horse in pain. Everyone wants the effortless ride when you just look at those Olympic level riders and you cannot really see what they're doing, and the horse seems to do everything by itself. So if you want to achieve something close to this is how you can start. You can just let your horse know when they do something right. You can compare this with having a strict boss who just gives commands and never tells you anything nice. So this working atmosphere isn't quite positive. This way your productivity and motivation drops down, and every day you go to work you just expect to receive those commands and humiliations. and you never get told you've done well, even if you did. So this is the key moment. This is when you realize that even if you do everything perfectly, even if you try your best, you still don't get to have normal relationship with your boss. Their approach remains just the same. So what is the reason for you to continue trying your best if it doesn't make any difference? So think about it. Horses are the same, and if you want them to be happy and healthy, just, praise them. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.